Now I'm going to ask you, Ameera. How are you, Ameera?
I'm doing well, thank you.
All right. So what I'm going to do is bring you on some. Oops. I don't want to do that. Participants. Close that. There we go. That's you. I'm going to give you side by side screen, and we're going to chit chat a bit, folks. I shut the chat room down because I want to just discuss with the women. Hi, Ameera. Ameera, go
Hi,
ahead and introduce yourself to everybody who may not know who you are.
I'm Ameera. I am a guest panelist on the Lapeef network.
Okay. Tonight, I'm talking about this whole thing of women, modern women almost embracing the fact that they would rather be feared, you know, than loved. Um, it's a general idea I've had for a minute, but I wanted to kind of bring it out in the wake of the Megan the Stallion article, talk about she believes it's her job to make men feel uncomfortable, and about so many things we're seeing in popular culture today with, women being allowed to just be as flamboyant, exercise as many options as they want to, say things that men can't do, and the power that so many women seem to feel like they garner from that. But I'm not sure that women want to feel that. What do you take it and speak about how you want to? Go ahead.
When the lady was talking about respect, I did understand her a little bit, and I know you did too. I
Yeah, I
heard
did. I
you.
understood what she was meaning. Yeah, I did.
Right. So I wanted to expand a little bit on what she was saying. Hopefully, she kind of agrees with me, but this is what I got from it. I
Mm-hmm.
got that she was trying to say that women prefer to be respected, but part of the thing is I think a lot of women see being feared as being respected
Mm-hmm.
because it's almost like if you fear me, that means you respect me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of women feel like, oh, we've come so far, we've done all this stuff, we need to be respected as men, kind
Mm-hmm.
of. And I think that's what a lot of women think is like, men aren't really, how can I say this? They're not really respected so much, but they're feared, and that's what I want too.
I think I think I think you're onto something. I think a lot of women they want acknowledgement that they are more than just um, that they can accomplish things. Like my grandmother. My grandmother, uh, she was a book smart woman. Uh, she was brilliant in her own way. But back when she grew up, women were really expected to be more domestics. And
Mm.
my mother, on the other hand, she was respected at her school. My mom had it. I don't knock my mom out. But my mom had a lot of respect, so I can understand why women can want to have respect for being able to accomplish whatever they choose to want to accomplish. And then if they choose to want to stay in the role of a mother, housewife, or so forth, they have as much respect as other women would have as if they chose to work in the work world. Am I
Well, this is,
kind of, go
oh,
ahead.
God.
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Go ahead.
You had mentioned something about feminism. I wanted to. It kind of ties into what you're saying right now about the respect versus being loved,
Mm-hmm.
or I'm sorry, feared versus being loved. I wanted to ask you this. This is something that has been on my mind because we had a talk on Lapeef as well about this. We were having a debate about feminism, and you had mentioned that your definition of feminism is the ability to choose,
Yes.
while my definition of feminism was that they wanted equality of the rights socially, financially, and politically.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do you think? Are
What?
they both kind of the same thing, or am I getting it wrong?
Well, and I want to tread kind of lightly because I want to leave this for the academicians. There are three waves of feminism. And the first wave of feminism, if I recall correctly, it was came along with the right to vote, property rights. At the turn of the century, like the suffrage movement. And I'm going to go really, really light here because I would rather not say it than be wrong.
Mm,
Women wanted to be granted almost full citizenship with men. Okay.
mm-hmm,
And I believe along around the second wave of feminism, after women got that, they wanted the ability to choose. It's like, well, if we want to, go into the work world, pursue law degrees or this, or we want to stay at home, and be housewives, mothers, that and such and so forth. So the ability to have full citizenship, the ability to choose. That's where I think what you were talking about and what I'm talking about, anybody can agree that
Mm-hmm.
that makes sense. I don't want women to be second class citizens.
Uh-huh.
I want women to have the ability to choose. But where I bristle is where we try to act as though men and women are equal, as in the same. We are not. As
Right.
human beings, Ameera and Kevin, biologically, we have far more similarities in our brain, our capacity, such and so forth, but our differences in our neurochemical makeup, our hormone levels, and it's our differences that make us extremely unique. So when we
Mm-hmm.
try to start saying that men and women should be treated as equals in all things, that's when I bristle, because then you start trying to engineer relationships. And
Do you
I'll
think
say,
that they wanted? Oh,
go
sorry.
ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
Do you think that they wanted the right to choose because they didn't want to be forced into the military or forced into what is it called? I know you know the word better than I do. When you're forced into the military for wartime
Drafted.
draft, right? Is it you think they wanted that ability to choose because they didn't want to be forced to be drafted?
Well, I, I don't know. Well, I know that here's what I do know: that men don't want to see their daughters on the front lines. So there were men who were in part of the suffrage movement as well. I think women wanted the right to choose because prior to 1960, women really, men and women, were at a great disadvantage of biology. We did not have the right to, outside of marriage, birth children
Mm.
determined a lot.
Mhm.
With the advent of birth control, we had the birth control, third wave feminism, and a lot of things happen. And human beings, we evolve slowly. Your people are from
Very.
Lebanon, Lebanon.
Yes, yes,
We,
we Lebanese.
human culture is a slow progression. We have made
Very.
so many changes in the last 100 years that our physiology can't keep up with it. But at the end of the day, one thing that we do know is in the Netherlands, in more egalitarian places on the planet,
And
when men,
Sweden.
okay, yeah, in Sweden, yes, when men and women are left to sort themselves out, we do it just fine. Men and women have their equals, and you know what you see? You see more men in science, engineering, technology, math, and more women in healthcare, nursing, these kind of things. We
Mm-hmm.
know how to do this.
True.
So,
Very true.
like, I have a Facebook group. It's called the Mix, and all I
Mm-hmm.
did was I picked a bunch of there are a bunch of people who said, "Hey, I'd like to join the group," and I asked some baseline questions about the men and the women, and I just threw them all in a room. And relationships are popping out of there. Marriages are popping out of there. We know how to
Oh.
do this, but what we're trying to do is we're trying to engineer this, uh, and we don't even want the engineering. I'll be honest. I think what we're starting to see is women, when given an option, more women are saying, you know what? If I choose to want to go to college and get a degree and get a PhD, but then if I choose I want to be a mother, I want to be just as respected as if I did have a PhD. That's the world I'm good with. I'm good with
Well,
that
can I
world.
ask you this just really quickly?
Go
Do
ahead.
you think that they should, okay, I know it's going to sound strange, but do you think that they should be respected exactly the same? A mother, a woman who chose motherhood versus a woman who chose her career.
Uh, well, I guess if we're rating it as far as a point system, I
Mm-hmm.
think they should be respected similarly but honored differently. Let me explain. I don't think coming up in a single parent household, and I saw my friends in a nuclear household, I knew there's something different. I had a lot of love and I had a lot of support, but there was something different with not having a dad there. And I think that women who have the ability to go out and become a Supreme Court justice, who choose to stay at home and raise their own children, should be honored. They should truly be honored, because it's not as though they don't have the capacity. I don't like women who aren't smart. I love smart women. I want to sit around and discuss uh, classics. I want to sit around and discuss a lot of things. I don't just want a bobblehead. But I also want that woman to allow me to go out and fight the world and come back and provide. And so she can take, instead of teaching the world, which would be great if she taught the children, but to teach our kids. So I think we missed, we have dishonored being a mother and a wife. And that really came along in my mother's generation, the baby boomers. They turned and looked at their mothers and their great grandmothers as being throwbacks of a time long ago, and they didn't know the damage they were doing. They couldn't know. I did a broadcast about that a couple of days ago. So go ahead.
The feminism. So back to your topic, bringing it full circle. Back to your topic. They're being feared versus being loved.
Mm-hmm.
Can they have both? And can they want both instead of just choosing?
Yes, I think I had fear for my grandmother, but I had the fear of my grandmother like I had the fear of God. But I also had love for my grandmother because she gave me a level of nurturing and care that to this day I still feel. There's a level of reverence that should come from staying in our roles. Similar with my grandfather, he is the measure of a man to me to this day, and he has a fourth grade education. I long ago surpassed my grandfather in academic pursuits and income, but only in my 40s did I catch up to him in man. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
So when we know how to do this, we just need to give each other, like I said, it's broken. It's broken, and we have to give each other some grace, some mercy. Look at things that are working other places, take the things that are working, and be willing to work with people. I said it wholeheartedly. We lost a great actor in Michael K. Williams, and we're seeing people dying alone from 40 to 60 because we're not meant to be fractured and broken like this. I grew up in a time where we went to family reunions and things like that. We just don't have